What's a lie that ruined your life forever? 2 years ago, my ex-girlfriend and I got into a massive argument after I found out she cheated on me. She was furious, pacing around the apartment, throwing things and yelling about how I never listened to her. She grabbed my car keys and yelled that she was leaving. She said she was driving to her parents' house, but I stood in her way. I told her calmly, "Look, I'll leave if you need space, but you're not taking my car. You're not on the insurance, it's pouring rain, and you're not in the right state of mind to drive." Her eyes narrowed, and she stormed toward the door anyway. I followed her, trying to reason with her. "You can't just take my car without my permission. If you do, I'll have to call the cops. This isn't safe." She froze on the doorstep, and for a second, I thought she'd back down. Instead, she turned around, came back inside, and did something I'll never forget. She pulled up her sleeve, revealing a massive green bruise on her arm. My stomach dropped as I asked, "What happened? Did you fall? Are you okay?" She stared me down and said, "I did this to myself the other day when I got angry. But if you call the cops, I'll tell them you did it." I was stunned. I knew how quickly things could spiral if she followed through. I asked her again, trying to stay calm, "You're saying you'd lie to the police? You'd tell them I hit you?" She nodded without hesitation and said, "Yeah, so think twice before you call." Eventually we broke up, but that wasn't the end of the nightmare. She trashed my apartment before leaving. She smashed the computer I'd built from scratch, stole over $200 worth of my belongings, and took both of our cats. Those cats were my world. I was the one who fed them, trained them, and cared for them. She knew taking them would hurt the most, and she didn't care. When I called the cops to document the damage, the officer pulled me aside and said, "Do you have somewhere else you can go tonight? It'd be easier if you weren't here." I explained that I had an eye infection and couldn't drive, but his response chilled me. "Look, if we get called back here for any reason, chances are you're the one going to jail. That's just how these things go." I left my own apartment that night, feeling humiliated and powerless. When I returned, the place was wrecked. Every lawyer I consulted told me it wasn't worth pursuing in court. I'd likely lose more money and still wouldn't get my cats back.